My name's Graham.
And I'm Dave.
We definitely knew that if we slung girls and boys out, that that it would be a big hit.
Britain had been waiting for a band that could actually talk it and walk it, you know, and that was we were the first. Suede had sort of started the ball rolling in a press sense because they've got so much coverage, but they hadn't sold any records and they hadn't really come up with a real crossover record. But Girls and Boys happened, and that was it.
Girls and Boys is just one chord sequence all the way through. We knew we wanted it to be kind of like disco. We wanted to like really, you know, rip off that hideous drum beat that you hear everywhere. You know, the boom, 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 that was the, you know, I think we all found pretty appalling. That it's the most irritating thing, I think, in any song I've ever heard in my life.
Suddenly everything exploded and you could do exactly what you wanted, go where you wanted.
And we didn't have enough words for the amount of interviews we had to do. Let's share the words out.
But it wasn't even really, on the release of the album, it wasn't, that hadn't happened. It was only when we got to the Brit Awards and suddenly won loads of them. The day after that was when things really went berserk. Which is unfortunate because we were halfway through recording the next album. And that kind of doomed us to do another year of interviews about the previous one.
It's a very quirky song, really. It's got someone talking about, you know, something very odd, and someone else shouting "Part Life." We were just sending out all the right signals. You know, we put out Girls and Boys, which was a proper pop single, to the end. It was just a big ballad, and then Part Life was football. And then End of a Century, which was another kind of soft, pretty song. You know, and within those four singles, because of the variety, it just drew all these people who weren't necessarily interested in alternative music. It drew them all together, so there was this huge audience out there.
The video was basically the director, who we'd known for a while, came along with this tape, and he'd taken this old, quite obscure film and just kind of cut it up, lifted kind of 3 minutes worth of parts out, rearranged them and made a different story out of it. And it's the first and last time where somebody's come along and said, all right, I want you to spend 50,000 on the video and it's going to look like this, and actually shown us what it was going to look like. Normally when you make a video they say, and it'll look kind of, you know, it'll look nice, you'll look great, don't worry, give us the money.
It's a French film, so it had subtitles up that that made no sense really when you put the track with it. So there'd be Damon singing and there'd be these subtitles that had no connection. So what we did, we just replicated it completely. We went to
Prague.
Yeah, and hung out in these beautiful kind of empty palaces and huge halls and replicated it as best we could.
Yeah, I think there's a real tendency when if you're really popular and everyone's taking you very seriously and you're sort of, you know, in a tabloid sense, you are the biggest band, to sort of view yourself as, you know, as kind of a great commentator on the culture that you're in, you know. So that album was full of things like about the lottery and Prozac and, you know, all those kind of current things that were going on at that time. It's like a mild form of psychosis that I think you find yourself afflicted by when everyone tells you they're the biggest band in the world. Not the biggest band in the world, biggest band in Britain. It's not healthy.